Hello everyone, Stuart Deal with Cow Herd Management here with your weekly recap for Wednesday, August the 18th. Bringing this recap to you on a Wednesday instead of a Friday because tomorrow my wife and I are headed out to Las Vegas with some good friends of ours. They've got the big Run for a Million Rain and Horse show out there this weekend, and my wife loves watching horse shows, and well, I love taking naps in a hotel room. So we're going to go enjoy those activities for a few days and just kind of get away from everything. So we'll go ahead and start here. Give you a little heads up on the futures board here. The futures regained the early week's losses. Weren't really losses. The board just kind of trended down, and honestly, given our global political events of the last few days, it really wasn't anything unsurprising. They were down, 50 cents to a dollar. Monday and Tuesday, but here Wednesday at kind of the midday break here, September was up $2.10 at $1.63. January feeder cattle were up $1.05 at $1.66. In the live cattle arena, April was still holding strong at $1.40, trading up a few cents, not much. And then August was down a few cents, but still at $1.33. We're not going to dive too much into the futures board. Those are just the 4 months that we tend to pay attention to around here, and I'll let you know a little more why here in a little bit. I'll give you a few local sale barn quotes from last Saturday. Mid-Missouri Stockyards had a cow and bull special Saturday night, and they sold a set of bred heifers, blacks, and black baldies, third periods, ready to start calving September 1st, and those brought $1,900 a head. Not too bad for a set of fall calving cows right here in the fescue belt. Buffalo livestock market on Saturday. My cousin sold a set of steers, and they weighed 712 pounds and brought $1.6250. Them cattle were last year's fall calves, so kind of short yearlings, what I like to call them, those 10, 11-month-old type cattle. Not true yearlings, but not balling milk fat babies either. So, that price there, $1.62, it's been a long time since we've sold 7 weights here in the fescue belt for $1.60, so we'll sure take it. I want to tell you a little bit more about them cattle, but one thing we talk about here inside of our program is buying bulls from somebody that really understands their program, their cows, and helps take care of their bull customers. My cousin who sold them cattle has been buying his bulls from Worthington Angus over in Dadeville, Missouri for the last few years. And I got to tell you what, he really takes care of his bull customers. My cousin sent me the sale flyer that they had made up for him Friday night. And what you do whenever you're a bull customer of them, you just tell them about the cattle and when they was born and what kind of vaccination programs they've had, and they'll build up a sale flyer and put it out on their social media and then send it to their network of buyers so they know exactly when them cattle are going to sell, at what sale barn, and some of the history behind them. It just helps add value to your cattle, and that's a program there. It's certainly not NHTC or GAP 4, but it's certainly going to help those guys that got 15, 20, 30 calves at a time to maybe get an extra dollar or two out of their cattle, which certainly never helps. So if you're within a few days drive of Missouri and you're looking for a place to buy some Angus bulls, you might check out Worthington Angus. And also, if you're a bull customer of his, I know he's done it for a few people, but sometimes he even lets them sell bred heifers at his bull sale. So just give them guys a call and see what you can get worked out. All right, so we're going to move on here. What's going on here with us here at Deal Cattle Company? It's August. It's kind of our annual pasture clipping month. It's pretty hot, and I don't like being out in the hot, so I've been spending my afternoons with my shorts on and the cab tractor doing some bush hogging. It's not always a terrible thing. There's certainly worse things in life than driving around in a cab tractor for the afternoon. But looking ahead, we've got some fall calves that we're ready to sell. We're not going to sell them this week. We're just kind of waiting. We're letting the last few of these Flint Hills cattle kind of get out of our way before we sell these. These are going to be another set you know, 10, 11-month-old type short yearlings. So we're not too far from the Flint Hills here, and you know, the 1st of August there's just millions of yearlings coming off the Flint Hills, and so we want to let them guys, you know, get them processed and kind of settle down before we bring our cattle to market. So hopefully there'll be a few more buyers interested. You know, we may be some of the last people selling, you know, even short yearlings here in the fescue belt, and that might be a good thing and it might be a bad thing, but nevertheless, that's what we did. We held them, and we'll get them sold here the last of August, 1st of September. Also coming up, it's about time for us to wean our spring calves, and I got to tell you what, I am really excited about this this group of calves. I was looking at them the other night, and I'm not, you know, I'm pretty convinced there's some of those bigger end type steers that were born in February that could go right on them cattle that we got weaned out and ready to go to the sale barn. They've done really well. So I said earlier, those on the futures board, we watched the September and January feeder cattle board, because that's when these cattle are going to sell. Our fall calves are going to sell, you know, and that September feeder cattle board's going to, you know, it's going to kind of set the bar for the cash market. The cash market could be a little above it, could be a little below it, but that's kind of how we gauge what these cattle should do, is on that September board. Now these spring calves that we're getting ready to wean, we will sell them in January. So that's why we keep an eye on that January feeder calf board, just to kind of help us gauge the market. You know, we don't make a lot of big marketing decisions based on the board. We just like to keep an eye on it to kind of let us know what's going to happen. And then those corresponding live cattle months, hopefully that's when those cattle will hit the rail at the packing plant. So that's why we watch them, and you know, it just helps us gauge what's going on, kind of how we want to handle them cattle. Is there going to be enough money there to feed them and push them really hard, or do we need to just kind of try to keep our cost of gain as cheap as we can get it, and just make sure we have our condition right? You know, so much about selling cattle and getting top end value is about condition. These fall calves that we have to sell, you know, if they's big, fat, and fleshy, you know, kind of burn up on feed, why they sure wouldn't get any premiums at the sale barn. But these things are hard. They've been grazed on grass since the 1st of June. We started them in a lot, didn't push them very hard, just got them going, and healthy enough to turn out. So they've been a really good, healthy set of cattle with a lot of condition, and should just feed like a house of fire when they hit the feeding pens. So anyways, that's your weekly recap. We'll see you next week.